You prove that your time. You run the check. Yeah, they will have. All right, 7 o'clock. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. 7 o'clock. Call this Town Trial Board of Commissioners meeting for 17th February to order. At this point, I would ask please that you bow your head for a moment of silence. We certainly have enough wrong in this world to think of picking something right. Thank you. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda adoption. I understand that there are a couple of things that you'd like to put on.
Yes, I would like to put on for the closed session, personnel-related issues.
Say that again.
Personnel-related issues.
Personnel.
That's not for tonight, is it?
No, that's for Tuesday.
That's for Tuesday, yeah.
Yes.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
2:30.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to tell myself that.
It's called that
I'll call you.
Call that 16A. Anything else?
Does yours fall under property acquisition for the closed meeting?
No.
So
So
you
then
want to
we
add
need to add-
potential litigation for you for the closed
Yeah.
session?
A3, attorney-client privilege.
We'll do a 16B. And just make that all part of it, we're going to close session.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. You got that in?
Yep.
Anything else?
And I'm sorry, what was his call?
His is attorney-client privilege.
Okay.
And then I have that we're gonna move 11A to what I would say would be 15F for the continued.
Yeah,
Are y'all fine with that?
okay.
Okay. Any other changes, questions? If not, bear with me. Motion to adopt the agenda with the movement of 11A to 15 Foxtrot and 16 closed session to 16 Alpha and 16 Bravo for closed session for next Wednesday, the 25th of February at 2:30 p.m. Hear a motion?
I'll make a
All in
motion.
favor, aye? Opposed likewise, motion carries. Consent agenda? No questions?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, just a second, let me get this. It's a consent agenda, folks. It's usually 5, 8, or 10 things that just happen every time, but they still have to be approved by the board, like minutes and things like that. So that's why we don't ever read those out. It could be as few as 3 or 4 and as many as 12 or 15, depending on what we've done that month. Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, aye? Opposed likewise, motion carries. Item 6, Tropical Storm Helene. Pass that on to Tim and Brett.
Okay, last Tuesday, Jim and Brad met with the community center architect that the Harmon Field Board approved, who presented their plan. Mechanical and structural engineers were also in attendance. Brad, do you have anything to add to that? Just y'all met.
They've done scans of the inside of the building, and we're gonna meet every 2 weeks.
Okay. Weekly meeting on the community center. We have recently submitted the loose equipment list to the state for reimbursement approval. And we continue to compile admin and staff time spent during the storm for submittal of reimbursement as well. We are really winding down on those projects. We only have 2 or 3 left. And Brad and I were scheduled to meet our FEMA rep last Friday, but they had an issue and she rescheduled that meeting for this Friday, so that's kind of all we got for that one right now.
What's those equipment list?
Like, pitching machines, chairs, mounds.
Ice machines.
Miscellaneous kind of equipment that a park would have that we're just,
They got damaged.
they've got soap and water and we're gonna replace. And I believe these funds, we can decide to spend on other, like chairs, different equipment to update. So. Whatever that,
Does that cover A, B, and C?
well. Do you have anything for contract awards and schedule?
No, Jim's got to approve a grant, we just tried to, we're gonna submit, but
Okay.
he hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Is there any movement on the taking down the cabin? I know that's part of the whole process.
That's part of the 428, we haven't quite gotten with that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's still a really big project on demo and construction, so
Okay.
have not got to that point yet.
We got all brand applications covered in this one?
Yeah, that would, yes.
Okay, move to item 7, street parking ordinance from you, Tim.
Okay, so last week we talked about, a new parking ordinance for single-family and duplex dwellings. We talked about, limiting the amount of cars you could have in your front yard, how big your driveway can be. Based on that, discussion, I guess if you would like me to read the proposed ordinance for discussion. So what I wanna do, I'm bringing this to you for discussion, proposal. We can vote on it next week if we wanna make any edits to this tonight. So I don't know if you reviewed it, but if you want me to read it for the crowd.
Give a general overview to the crowd, because it's gonna affect them.
Sure, so, well, I guess it's in the, proof is in the pudding here, but, so yes, we're looking at limiting, driveway, it's typically focused on the front yard, how many automobiles you can have in your front yard, how many are visible, how big your driveway can be in the front yard, just so it keeps harmony in the community. We don't have used car lots in our front yards, just to keep harmony across the board, and keep neighborhood character in check. This does, it does reference, side parking, rear parking. It's obviously gonna be a little less stringent inside and rear yards. And if you're far enough off the road where you can't see any of the vehicles, it's a lot less lax, I guess, or a lot more lax, I should say. So that is the summary of that. General provisions: the code enforcement officer of the town will be responsible for the administration and enforcement of this chapter. We define front yard as a yard extending across the full width of the lot, extending from the porch of the principal building or its closest wall to the property line or established edge of a right-of-way, whichever is closer. All yards abutting a street shall be considered front yards. Side yard is the yard which extends from the closest side wall of the building to the nearest side property line. So here are the ordinances. All parking for single-family and two-family dwellings shall be provided so as to maintain a primarily residential appearance in front yards and to protect the quality and character of residential neighborhoods. Accordingly, areas used for parking and drives must be designed, located, and constructed to meet the standards of this section. B, if visible from a public street, parking outside a substantially enclosed structure of more than 4 motor vehicles in the front yard is prohibited. C, any unscreened parking spaces and drives visible from a public street that are in front and side yards must be clearly defined, constructed, and adequately maintained in a hard all-weather surface such as asphalt, concrete, brick, gravel, pervious paving, or other approved material. Grass and bare earth areas are expressly prohibited in areas visible from a public street. All parking and drive areas must be contiguous. D, no vehicle over 26 feet in length or 14,000 pounds in weight may be parked in front yards. Recreational vehicles may not be parked in front yards. For new construction, no more than 30% of the front yard area may be delineated or used for parking and drive areas unless the Board of Adjustment grants a variance in accordance with this subsection. Some examples of cases eligible for consideration, the area is primarily used for vehicular and turnaround movements and not for the parking of vehicles. The area is required to meet minimum off-street parking requirements, and reasonable access drives would exceed 30% of the front yard area. The lot is less than 50 feet wide, and the Board of Adjustment determines it is infeasible to limit paving to less than 30% of the front yard. The topography, location of the dwelling or the existing development of adjoining areas prevents conformance. A portion of the area is necessary to provide accessibility for disabled persons, and the existing all-weather structure, or surface, currently exceeds 30% of the front yard, and a portion of the all-weather surface is either designated as driveway only or for a non-parking use, and or physically restricted to barricaded from use as a vehicle parking. Violations of the provisions of this chapter shall subject the offender to a $100 civil penalty. Each day that violation remains shall constitute a separate offense. Upon determination that an offense exists, the code administrator shall issue a notice of violation which shall provide at least 15 days to bring the property into compliance. Thereafter, the code administrator shall issue a notice of daily civil penalties. In addition to the civil penalties provided for above, the town may enforce provisions of this chapter by appropriate equitable remedies as set forth in 10.99. So that is,
Okay, my first question is that on our webpage now? So that people can actually get to it and read it?
okay,
If not, please make sure that gets up, that's so everybody can have access to it.
I will put that up before I leave
And part
here.
of the things that drew this, folks, is we had people coming and complaining because there were people that have a small front yard and they'd come home and there was somebody with a truck and a trailer parked on the edge of their yard, tore it up. There were people that had business trucks they put in and pulled on part of that side yard and they tore it up. So this is something we're looking for right now to try to help protect people. Now, am I naive enough to know it's not gonna make some people mad? No. Somebody will be mad, and we expect that, okay? But I'm asking them to put it up so everybody can have access to it. And I think that's fair.
Tim, who will, you depend on the report violations and residents, police department, street department, all of the above?
All of the,
All the above.
And who will go out and check the violation?
That's section, the first one. Code enforcement officer of the town shall be responsible for the administration and enforcement. So what I did with this was I looked at Greensboro, I know we're not Greensboro, and I looked at the other one from Siler City, kind of amalgamated both of them. That's where I came up with the 4 and the 30%. But I will put this on the website before I leave this building tonight. It'll be in the news and announcement section.
And then we can have it ready for the March meeting.
I have a question, excuse me. Did you say it's so 4 cars, 4 vehicles, limited, the length of the house?
No, just 4 in your front yard, or your driving, or your parking area.
So does that, okay, so that includes the driveway and the street. So I could have 2 cars in my driveway, maybe 3, and then another one in the street.
So the street right away parking,
Sorry.
that's where, hold here, let me get out of here. Street parking is a different regulation. For, parking vehicles on the street for more than 24 hours. That is separate from this. So I guess technically you could have 4 parked in your front yard and 2 or 3 parked in front of your house.
it's on the street.
Yeah, but they can't, but those are only supposed to stay there, they can't stay there for more than 24 hours, right, Hope?
Without being moved.
Without being moved, so if
And
they
they have-
move,
They have to be on the pavement, you can't be on the dirt.
Correct,
Can't be on the yard.
yes,
That includes motorcycles. So my Harley and my Indian can stay. Along with my four
We're
cars.
gonna get questions about motorcycles, golf carts, scooters.
A vehicle is a vehicle.
yeah.
So if you got 3 strollers in the car in the driveway, you've hit maximum.
You don't have time to drive, if you got 3
Yeah,
strollers.
yeah, 3 strollers, you don't need a car.
Just a quick question, and I know this is, so if you can only have 4 cars in your driveway at any one given time, right?
In the front yard.
In the front,
You can park 5 more in the backyard.
no,
No, on the side.
oh, you ain't parking in my backyard. I mean, but, so what if you have a party? And I can fit,
I'll send them a violation notice the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, the cars will be gone.
But they'll all be gone.
Yeah, that's not 24 hours unless they,
I mean, the spirit of this ordinance is long-term permanence. Yeah, I can't,
so
Right,
maybe
that's
we
a
need,
great program.
Well, my hope, folks, is that we will be attacked by common sense and know when to do that and not to do that. Now, I will guarantee you that after the 5 of us are gone, there's somebody there waiting right now. There's always one. There was in the army, there was in teaching, there was in coaching. So be prepared for it. I'm just being honest.
and so if we're gonna have discussion on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can have additional discussion on it if I make any edits. And we can impose those edits contingent upon what the vote is next week as well.
All I ask is that you get it on the computer so everybody can look at it.
Yeah, it'll be, like I said, I'm not leaving the building until it's up.
So after this is passed, and you say no more than 4 cars, the person is fined, but if they go, yeah, I'll give you money, I don't care, and the cars are still sitting
It's
there.
$100 a day. Most people, I mean,
that's
don't wanna give up that kind of money.
And
They
eventually we tow them off, right? I mean, eventually we would, we
If
would
the
impound
fines,
them, right?
if the civil penalties aren't paid, we can, at any given time, pull the trigger on, the appropriate division of court, and seek an order of abatement, an injunction, which I've done many times. And that would order, like say if they're inoperable or something, there's 5 or 6 all over the front yard, that's how we would handle that. We would not go and tow them.
Well, that's why I wanna get this on the internet so everybody can form the questions that they have. Because we know they're out there. I could be sitting on this committee and working for 5 days, and there's somebody like, he'll go, well, have you thought about this? And no, I didn't, to being honest. That's why we put it out, 1,500
But if
of
they're sitting on the town street and they won't move them, we can,
If it's
Have
on
them
the-
removed, right?
Yeah, if it's on the, if it's,
yeah.
yeah. I just wanted to say that this is not the type of ordinance that law mandates a public hearing, but
I'd like to have.
in
a
Siler
public
City,
hearing.
they chose to do
Okay.
one.
That's what I was gonna say, is I'd like to have a public hearing on this in March.
Okay. Just treat it like we would, not less than 10, no more than 20, put in the paper.
So this will be not next Wednesday,
No.
but we're gonna do our second.
Okay, item 8.
Well, Mayor, could the board vote to set the public hearing on that date? Whatever the date is.
March.
I mean, I like the spirit of this,
Isn't
but I
it the same
think
as
it
this?
needs some, like, clarification like that. 26
Is it the
foot,
17th?
no vehicles over
Usually people,
26
this
feet
is, yeah.
in length or 14,000 pounds in weight may be parked in front yards. RV recreational vehicles may not be parked in front yards. Well, first of all, I mean, if somebody kind of like follows the letter of this, if I have a moving van many of those are over 26 feet. I don't think we're talking about that, but we should be clear about that. And so here, RVs may not be parked in front yard, but I have someone who comes and does that, dirt race that they had for a while. Oh, I forget what it's called. The cycling. And they would park not motocross, it's a
Oh,
bicycle.
you're talking about the biking on the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they would drive an RV, so cause I have no backyard. So what I'm hearing is they can't come to my house and park in my driveway. Even though they would only be here for 3 days.
Okay.
But did you say there were like special circumstances, people could come to you if they had a special?
That's for parking, that's for parking like
Yes,
areas on the driveways.
Folks,
and
I'm
stuff.
agreeing with all that, but I go back to my common sense. If we send an enforcement officer out there, and there are 8 kids riding a bicycle through the mountains, and they're sitting in someone's yard, and they give them permission, we go back and look the next day. If it's gone, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I keep, let's add some common sense to it. We can, every rule and every law that we have in this country is because somebody did something stupid, and we have to make a rule so they don't do it. And this, and I agree, you're right, you can't park in your front yard, you can't park in my front yard, because I don't have one.
No, my backyard you can't park in.
For your backyard, they go like that, it'll be in my backyard.
Even if Tim takes the letter out, if it's cleared up in 15 days, that's the end of it.
Can I,
Yeah.
They have 15 days to comply. If somebody's in your driveway visiting and temporarily has their RV out there,
okay, well,
unless they're there more than 15 days.
regarding,
I don't want one of those.
regarding the recreational vehicles, if we reword it, may not be parked, permanently in a front yard, or set a time frame, because we do
I'd set a
have.
time frame.
Okay, because we do have a provision in our zoning ordinance that you can have an RV being used as an RV on your property twice a year, no more than 14 days each of those 2 times.
Okay.
But that, it doesn't specify where in that part. So
I would
this,
shorten that for that,
okay,
okay?
and, I mean, suggest away on all ears.
Folks, I'm sorry, we're not calling you, please say your name, because we need it for the record. Ma'am?
My name is Lynn Lewis. In discussing, well, cars, is the fine given, let's say $200, I'm just making up a number, $200 a day or $200 a day per vehicle that should not be there?
It's just
$100
per
per day.
day. Per day.
And if you have 4 vehicles there, or 5 vehicles, you're only in 1.
What if you have 10?
The fine's the same, the civil penalty's the same, it's per situation, not the number
Yeah,
of
it's
cars.
still $100 a day.
Does it have to be per situation? Could we
Yep.
do per
Per vehicle?
Never
vehicle?
seen it done that way, but
Is it legal? And is
Take
that
them.
If you
what
hit
they want?
somebody one
that what
day,
y'all
they
want?
usually will pay attention, because if it don't, you hit them the next day, and you hit them the next day. But as I said, and let's don't play the what ifs, please. Because you can come up with 50 ratios and scenarios that won't fit this, and we know this. We're trying to make this a better town where communities look better and people don't park. I got a call during the snowstorm. There's somebody decided to go on the street that had no business on that connects with mine. Nobody could get out, so we had to tow it. I mean, why would you be out with a hopped up car with about a 400 horsepower engine and trying to go up a hill where there's ice? That didn't work, but the tow truck did. Sorry. Okay? Next.
So yeah, just a reminder, so I'll post this tonight, we'll have a public hearing next month at the official meeting. That's time for citizen comments and input, so read it.
Thank you.
Check it over and bring what you got.
I just
We
need
did a motion to.
motion to set the public
to
hearing.
set the public hearing.
Public hearing, 17th March meeting.
I make a motion.
All in favor, aye? Opposed, likewise,
Say
motion carries.
after, so-
Thank you. Move on to item 8, historical preservation.
Okay, in front of you, this item is an ordinance to amend chapter 34, boards and commissions to expand the historical preservation commission member count to 7. the chairperson of that board has approached me and said we have 5 now, but they would like to expand it to 7 due to the designation of the local historic district that we just enacted. So they would like to have 7 people to pull from because the meeting is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They want to just make sure we have enough people to review,
To have a quorum.
Yeah.
quorum and to review, certificates of appropriateness and other duties. So they just would like a bigger roster.
So I guess to have a quorum, I mean, if you have 5 members, then a quorum is what, 3? So, but if you have 7 members, then a quorum is 4. So I guess, I just don't understand the quorum
Well, no, they,
comment.
not necessarily a quorum, just they want more people if they have,
Like if people
Like
have
the bodies.
if people can't
obligations,
make it, yeah.
to be able to have a bigger group if you're trying to get 3 from 5, or if you're trying to get 4 from 7, you kind of have more people to pull from, was
Yeah.
basically the request from.
You've got everybody that can read it, it's just like 10 people looking at something as opposed to 2, you get better questions out of it. We know they aren't all gonna be there every time, but, and if it's only 3 there, they can read all they want to, but they can't vote, if it's 7. But you still got it read by somebody who can make a recommendation to another board member next time and said, hey, but they can't change it without a majority. Discussion?
Oh, I'm good with bumping it up.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
because more people
Chair will
will
entertain a
be
motion.
able to-
You moved, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed likewise, motion carries. Emily, audit update.
Audit update. So the continued meeting will be our audit presentation to make the local government commission happy. I need an amendment to our audit contract to take us through that presentation, because the current one ran out. And we have to have one on file with the LGC, so the modified one runs through the end of February, so it would be able to cover our audit presentation next week.
Okay.
I just, if you all would move to adopt it.
Is, or is not a cost associated with that?
Not with the extension, that's the
Extension, okay,
original
okay, that's what I
cost
thought. I
from
just-
it, yeah, it's just changing the, that modified date is the only change on it.
Okay,
And the audit now is 39 a year. How much is our audit a year?
Well, this year it was a little more, because we had to do a single audit because of the amount of grant funds that we got from federal and state government, so that's why there was a difference this year, because it was a more invasive audit.
Okay, and my whole point was that when I first got here, I think our audit was either 10 or 12,000 a year when I first came here. So.
Yeah.
And I just be honest here, we keep getting dinged because our audit's not in on time. You know why the audit's not in on time? There aren't enough auditors in the state of North Carolina to go around. So, if you're in Charlotte, you have a big business with 50 auditors, do you want an audit Charlotte? You want to audit Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro. And so, it's not that you get the drag, but you get the small businesses. 535 towns in this county, and probably 450 of them are 10,000 or under or 15,000 or under. And you don't need a big corporation to come in and do that.
Yeah.
So, I think the prices went up because they were the only people available.
Yeah, I think there
Well,
was
they
some
could.
supply and demand.
And I also know that a few years ago, they talked about doing, like this year, we do a self-audit and mail it to the state, and next year we'd have a real audit. So Columbus would have a real audit this year, we'd have a self-audit, and next year it would rotate, but they haven't done that yet.
No.
The state also doesn't have a budget yet,
That's true.
but they punish us if we don't. Okay, sorry, folks.
I just need a motion. I'll make a to- motion. I'll make a motion.
All in favor, aye? Opposed, likewise? Yes, okay. Item 10. Jim?
TDD update, chili cook-off will be held on fourth Friday, February 27th from 5 to 7 p.m. Interested chili cooks can sign up at downtowntryon.org. TDDA will be hosting a dedication ceremony for the BOC at the depot on February 27th at 4:30 p.m. This will kick off the partnership between Shrine Arts and Crafts School and TDDA for Public Art. I've got 2 street closures for you. For Super Saturday, March 21st of 2026 from 9 to 3 p.m. Melrose Avenue from Chestnut to Packlet. Need to vote on that?
Your motion?
I'll make a motion.
All in favor, aye? Opposed likewise, motion carries.
And then try on April Fools, March 28th, 2026 from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Trade Street from New Market to Palmer.
Your motion?
I make a motion.
All in favor, aye? All opposed likewise, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
I'm doing it. Next Friday, right? Chili cook-off?
Yeah, next Friday.
Next Friday.
Has there been any, I haven't, this is the first time.
No, we had flyers out, I believe, Facebook posts.
Yeah.
It's,
And
yeah,
Okay.
we had the posters done. We'll do the handouts.
Dave and I are gonna win this year.
All right.
Maybe.
11?
All right, minimum housing, Jackson Street Extension House, will cost roughly $30,000 to remove due to asbestos. I'm working with the owner, to see if they can, I'm trying to work with them so they handle the demolition, so we do not need to put that lien on that property. We're still in open discussion, going back and forth on that one. I hope to have that, an answer on that one soon.
Which piece of property?
It's a Jackson Street extension.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little cabin in the middle of a parcel surrounded by trees. We recently had an East Side meeting, and among other topics, potholes were brought up. Working with the street department, we have compiled a list of their concerns, and on top of the ones we already have, and others all through Tryon. So we'll begin filling them as soon as the temperatures raise enough and the asphalt plants are open again. Should be sometime next month. Just can't really put asphalt down in the cold. And also regarding Vista Terrace, a violation notice was sent out for the trash in addition to the cars that we're working on. The trash is a separate issue and that has been addressed. Well, I mean, the violation notice has been sent out. It's got about 2 or so weeks to take care of that.
Tim, how many houses would you say we have liens on the property from demolition? We've got a lot of money tied up.
Yeah. In my career, I think I've knocked down about 8 or 9, but only 3 of those had liens. And then my predecessor, I just actually found a spreadsheet with the previous amounts. Emily and I we're looking into trying to get a number.
Trying to make heads and tails of that
Trying to get
spreadsheet.
heads on that spreadsheet.
I spoke with Jim about this, and the town does have the authority to foreclose properties.
Well, we have done some of those and some have not sold. The money's still tied up. I give you an example. A board went to Lynn and tore down a piece of property and hauled it off, and I think it was $15,000. And the county sold the property for not a whole lot. And they got first, so we lost money on that. And my own question when I asked them, says, why'd you do that? It's outside the town limits, you spent the money there. Yes, that happened. I was in Raleigh with the legislature that day. Not that I know if I could have stopped it or not, but at least I knew not to do it out there.
Well, minimum housing can be enforced in ETJ.
Yeah, I mean, and this was even questionable if it was in the ETJ. It was on the other side of the creek.
It was close,
Yeah, it was
but I'm
within
still not
inches.
100% sure it was in our area. But it was done. Bit my tongue,
Me too.
not enough. Okay, item 13, item 12, council order tonight, Tracy, Julie, Bill, Skip, and me.
So just thank everyone for coming out and, thanks to the staff for the work during the 2 previous storms. Thank goodness they didn't turn out quite as bad as they were saying. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah, thank you to all the staff for all the work that you did during the storms. The streets were plowed, I sort of like every 2 hours around my house. I don't know if that was a coincidence or not. No, but they did a great job. I was very impressed, bragging to everyone about our little town. And thanks for everyone for coming out tonight.
Yeah, same with the staff, thank the staff, the hours they put in and the late hours. I mean, I lay there in bed and I heard nothing but snow plows from 3 a.m. till 8, so it was good. And thank the citizens for coming out, appreciate it.
Did for all the
Okay,
How about this kudzu?
Did you wanna do it?
I keep going back and saying, folks, and I put it on the beginning of the day, you're in the best place you've ever been. I promise you, you're in the best place you've ever been. Just a little thing. Let me tell you something that some of you may not know. You know our people out there working, you know our police were here, you know others were here. You all know that we had people sleeping in the fire department and upstairs here so they could get to work and keep this town working. So yes, thank you. I'm aware of that. I'm aware, I don't know how many, but I think it was probably between 5 and 10 that did that, maybe more. And I heard one person talk about, I don't have anywhere else to go, so I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna bring my children, and we're gonna set up and play, and we're gonna keep this town running. My hat's off to them. So those people did yeoman's work and didn't have to. Okay.
There is.
And don't tell other people how good it is. We got one other thing.
This kudzu agreement is listed here, I don't know.
Say again?
Kudzu,
Did you wanna talk about Kudzu?
Yeah, I would like to, I want to thank Tim.
Thought you were gonna bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been working, we're forming a committee to replicate a program that Flat Rock has done for a number of years, where the town takes care of eradication of kudzu, not only on town property, but works with private property owners on close to the right of way. I mean, we're not gonna do acres of land, but, and Tim has drafted, taken that copy and inserted some different things and put Tryon's name on it. We're forming a committee, we've got 2 members, Greg and Clyde, Greg Miner and Clyde Youngkin. And I've asked Mr. Warren Carson to recommend 2 members from the east side that can join our group. And then what we'll do, we'll put it on the website, we'll start passing it out, getting applications in, and start getting rid of this menace in our town, so.
It's eating us.
Oh, it's, yeah, eating us alive.
Yep.
But Flat Rock has had really good success with this. I've talked to several of the board members up there, and it's gone very smoothly. You know, we're limited out, well, there won't be liability. I've heard people say, you know, what if we kill a specimen plant? Well, they'd have to prove that we did it maliciously versus the spray moving out.
So you can leave the kudzu there, it'll kill it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And kudzu. But anyway, we're hope to start this spring when the kudzu season starts, and want to thank the Clyde and Greg and the kudzu warriors for the work they've done already. And we got to get this town in shape because it is eating us alive.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we'll have citizen comments. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand. I'll call on you, give your names for the record.
And I wasn't here for the work session. I don't know if anybody recognized the fact that at the Chamber Awards dinner last week, Brad Gordon was awarded the Duke Power Citizenship and Community Service Award. That's a really high honor, and he should be celebrated for that.
Thank you for bringing that to the attention of the public. Yes, sir.
My name is Gary Hine, and my question is, the road in front of us is paved, but yet to the side of the road is about a foot of gravel. Who owns that gravel? And could I utilize that gravel for whatever I wanted?
No, the first question is it in the ETJ or in the town? Where's your address?
New
Mr.
Market.
Terrace?
Is it New Market?
Yeah, Vista and New Market.
Okay, so that's ours. The street's ours. Now,
Yeah.
the gravel off to the side, did we haul gravel and fill that, or someone else haul gravel and fill that? I don't know.
You're talking about the little grass strip between the sidewalk and the curb.
Exactly.
You can do anything you want.
Could I do it on your yard?
Do you wanna keep the gravel or get rid of it?
I don't know what I want. Maybe I wanna paint pictures on it. Maybe I wanna put stakes up on it. Who has the right to decide what happens to that grass?
Why don't you put some cars on it?
I mean, probably wanna look at the plat to see where the property line, I mean.
Does the property line go into the road or just to the edge?
It could go to the
Depends,
edge.
depends.
It
Not
could
to the
stop,
center of the road.
yeah, it could stop at the edge of the sidewalk on your side. It could, the sidewalk could be in your property.
It was probably sitting there for a reason. I would say, I wouldn't tell him he can yet. I mean, until maybe Jim.
Could I
does
go
something.
across the street and use that gravel on the other side for my uses?
I mean, is this
I
gravel just
wouldn't,
laying
we
in
know
the
what the
street?
answer.
Let's just,
No, but I get what you're saying, but it's one of the things that I learned when I first got this job. Where's our right of way? Well, it's, you didn't get a good answer.
could I put a sign on that? Could I put a sign
Depending
on
on
that
what the
gravel?
sign said.
No, you can't go by.
It
what
says
it
this
says.
gravel is mine.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's not blocking the line of sight, but it's not a corner lot, you're fine. I mean,
So I could do whatever I want with that strip of gravel on either side of the road. Could I go all the way down the road and do it in front of everyone's house?
No,
No.
I'm thinking that the width,
We have 30 feet, I think our
the
easement,
state has
state
30 to
is
50,
30
we
feet.
don't get that
From
much.
the center of the road.
Right.
From the center of the
I
road.
think we're like 20
I think
feet.
the town is like 20 feet, because if you did what the state said, most of the sidewalks and part of the front of the businesses actually belong to the state and not us. And if you go on this side, the railroad had 50 feet on each side, so we don't have a town. And that's why I'm answering the question the best I can. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either, that's why I'm asking. So if I wanna go on the other side of the road, away from my house, I could use that strip as well. And put signs up and sticks up or whatever I
Like
want,
a mailbox?
or a mailbox.
Well, mailboxes,
That's Cammer, 100 Vista Terrace. It's part of the overall thing that we've been talking about with the household, with the cars and the trash and everything.
No, it's a mailbox.
The homeowner was told that the US mail cannot get to his mailbox because of the condition of his yard. So he took his mailbox, moved it across the street in front of someone else's property. That's why the question's being
And again,
asked.
I get that,
that's the
because
lane clarification.
you bought your mailbox, but they tell you it's against the law to destroy your mailbox.
Yeah.
The postmaster, even if you own it. So, we have a lot, and I don't wanna call it a gray area, but it's a gray area. We have a lot of gray areas we don't know the answer to.
Okay.
Having a
I can-
right of way is different, in my understanding, having
Say
a
again?
right of way is different from owning the property. So you, while the town, the state would have a right of way in front of your house, you still own that property, you're still, the way, William, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you own the property, but you must give a right of way to the town, to the state, but you don't have to give a right of way to all your neighbors. So if I come start sticking stuff up on your property, I'm not allowed to do that. Now, the state and the town can, within whatever their right of way is. And since you're talking about a mailbox, the way I also understand it is the US mail, you have to have your mailbox on a certain side of the street. And whatever side of the street, they're not supposed to, because they wanna deliver quickly, they don't wanna be zigzagging. And they typically will not, if they're supposed to deliver on one side, you wanna have them deliver it on the other. They may do that if you have a physical mobility issue or impairment. Not just because I don't wanna walk across the road, or I don't wanna do this, that, or the other. So the solution is probably to get a post office box up here.
That would be a good idea.
There are just things that you can answer. Maybe we find it somewhere in the book. As I said something before, y'all see the thickness of this? I found a set of rules from the 1950s in an antique store, and about everything that we've talked about, that's in about 25 folders now, was in one book. The water bill, you pay it, if not, your water will be cut off in X days with 1 or 2 lines. And everything that we have now is all these books through. And I don't think anybody knows the answer to everything.
No.
And I wish I had more of an answer for you. But the last thing I'm gonna do is lie to you.
Well, by GIS, this that tears, we have a fairly wide easement or right of way all the way down that road. Probably almost 30 to 35 feet. It virtually goes from the wall of the church.
Yeah.
About 10 feet inside of your property line, almost where the palmetto trees are. And I need to talk to you, how do you keep those things alive? I've had 3 of them die on me.
They come from Michigan.
There we go.
They're very hardy.
And they've got that now.
Just because the town has.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Harriet Hudson, Mountain Shadows. I had a question about what the town had hopefully discovered in the last month since the last council meeting about the status of the parking lot that has been marked private or no parking behind the plaza on Maple. At the last council meeting, I had asked about the zoning and if there was anything protecting it from the new owners turning it into paid parking. They put up no parking signs, and I think the town was looking into possibly leasing it back from.
Yeah, that, Jim did meet with the owner, they are not interested in leasing it. And, I mean, it's private property.
Is there any zoning in place that could prevent them from turning it into paid parking?
No.
I can't think of anything.
We have that satellite parking, but that's central business. That's allowed in central
I mean,
business.
Greg has contract parking as his. The old phone company parking lot, he bought that, didn't he?
The
Stacks.
one behind, I don't know what he bought over there, but he bought what's behind the bulletin and that,
Yeah.
that's his parking lot.
Yeah, that's his, and he actually leases parking to business.
I'm sorry, you have to speak up.
I'm speaking on behalf of the visitor center, and that was the parking that the visitor center was supposed to be able to
Yeah.
use. And now there's no parking signs there, and I think the town might need to approach the owner about.
We have, and he said no.
He said no.
That's what Tim just said.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to do what he wants to do with that piece of property when he's, yeah.
The other question I had also, concerns of the visitor center is we had talked over the last, I guess, course of the last year about signage, permanent signage going up saying, visitor center this way, history museum this way. Right now there's a temporary sign that the docents take up and stick in the flower bed and they take it down, and the town had discussed putting up a permanent sign so that it was more visible. So people driving through town could say, oh, this is where the visitor center is. But my concern now, because of the new sign that went up at the corner of Pacolet and Trade, is if the visitor center sign is going to be designed in the same fashion as that sign, that's gonna be a problem because, it's not legible from the street if you're driving. You can't read it, the letters are too small.
I've talked to 4 people, and you've said exactly what the other 3 said.
Yeah. So, again,
Can't see it.
yeah,
And that parking lot belongs to your landlord.
I know.
Y'all need to take it up with him saying, we're gonna park there since we're leasing half your building.
Right, well, we did. And
Yeah.
I think he sort of gave over the phone, you know, Dick, the president, sort of a verbal okay for the museum people to park there. But my concern as far as is for the visitor center, it's for people who are coming through town. They're driving down there trying to find us and the parking lot says,
Yeah, I mean, y'all need to work that out with your landlord, since the visitor center is
I mean, he goes to the park and
one of his
they haven't seen it.
clients.
We figured eventually we were gonna get the rails to trails. And I started 10 years ago, trying to figure out a way where we could utilize parking in different places. And I talked to several people, and then we hired some guy to come over here, and he said what everybody else said, basically. But we have Harmon Field, we get 300 vehicles down there probably. And my proposal was 10 years ago. When the rail gets ready to open, hire 3 high school students, buy 3 golf carts, put a phone number out where the parking lots are, and if it's too far outside of the center of town, call them, they'll come pick you up and carry you back. Someone says it can't work like that way. There are tons of towns that do that.
But we'll have plenty of parking, I mean, just down along Burles and Side Street's 100 parking places, so.
And other
Yeah, I
things
mean,
people
once you
forget.
open it up.
well, I just wanted to make you aware of before another sign is made, that there needs some adjustments.
And I'm convinced that the rails, if they own 50 feet each side of it, we get all that. I do believe that somebody, when they're grading, will grade beside it and put in a gravel parking lot all the way to Landon if they need to, people who own that land. Like you, I don't worry as much about parking as I do something else, things. I wanna see the money get there and get it going, then I worry about parking. I'd rather not spend a gazillion dollars and have nobody show up. It's just me. Okay. Yes, sir.
Bill Dillon, 100 Vista Terrace. One of the things that's a concern to us is the person that is in violation of the ordinance that's being proposed. We don't know what his cognitive capabilities are, what kind of resources he has, what kind of technology he's savvy with. So I don't know how you can educate him in this process.
Correct.
And that's a concern for all of us. We care, but we're also victims of his eccentricities.
Good work. I will talk to the chief and maybe we can pay him a visit and I'll hand deliver him a copy and so, you know, so
Yeah.
it's not a surprise kind of thing.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. So yeah, we can absolutely handle that. Yeah, as far as like resources and that kind of thing. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I think that's the best, probably one.
Just trying to be fair.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Lynn Lewis, 105 Vista Terrace. In our concern about our neighbor, one of our neighbors went out to help him take care of things, to which she said, she's doing it, I don't have to. In our concern, I called DSS and asked what they could do. Someone came out, got back to me and said, yes, there is a definite problem. You don't know?
Well, is that in our city limits?
Yes.
That's in our corporate limits and the report goes to the policeman, but those are things outside of our bailiwick. There are government organizations, both state and federal, that can handle problems like that. We certainly are not hooked up to do that. One more, yes ma'am.
Okay, excuse me, I'm on Vista Terrace as well. So, DSS, I called them and because I wanted an update and they basically said, you know, he's able to, this person's independent, takes care of himself. They can't, I mean, it's kind of a really, like, he's not, there's nothing DSS is gonna do, period.
Well, and I
Just
understand that.
FYI.
And what I expect people to do is do what I did with my wife, who had dementia for 14 years. You stay there and you do your job. Everybody's not like that, unfortunately. And unfortunately, some of those people live in this town. So, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, thank you.
I wish I had some more I could tell you, but
No, I understand. It's,
if not, the chair will entertain.
Motion to recess?
Yes.
Continue the meeting until Wednesday, February 25th at 2:30 p.m.
I make a motion.
All in favor, aye? Opposed, likewise, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
William.
I do have a voice over.
Yeah. Ask him if it's enough.
And I just, you know, I didn't want to interrupt him still. I did the last meeting interrupt because I was concerned with regard to the